He was Mr. a lot. Yeah.
I never, seeing your kid, never really thought about it, you know. You were 60, you're always busy, so you don't have time to think. Every time I see cookies, you know, I love some cookies too. So when you say,
I will do that,
Thank you.
I always think about you and my mom. Cookie always tells me about their adventures when they went to conferences.
Put your mask on.
She used to base the room together.
Yeah.
You know, when I was
money for the church.
Well, yeah, well, you know, so much when I was in the early school, when we went to conferences, everybody got told to have to double up.
I'll put it on
I
first.
had a good friend of mine who was a
It's going to be
What are you
okay.
doing? Oh, okay. I'll fix it.
Just watch out for the leg of the tripod, the camera tripod here. Just be careful.
Thank you. sorry. She's so heavy. Thank you.
Say hello to your mom. I always enjoy seeing that. How are you?
Morning, Cynthia. You know, my son was I got a practice for 4 days, and I guess until the last time I arrived, he said 10 hours at my house. I got hacked. 10 hours. I called him yesterday and said, I think I got a virus. He said, okay. I come over to my house at 8 o'clock. He was at 8 o'clock. I just left him and he's working on it. I think I got it. But I have to go really big. I have to leave. It's still there, I think. I left it. That's archaic. I go to my doctor. I go to ophthalmologist. I go to the Texas tell me it's archaic.
That's the easiest way, though, you know.
He said, nobody, he said, everybody doesn't have a fever. You have to check. Yeah. If you got a fever, you don't get checked. You're not going to he said, well, that makes sense, doesn't it?
You know, any kind of check like that is very helpful.
Yeah, every little bit helps.
Every little bit, you're right.
Amazing. Good morning, everyone. Ohayou gozaimasu. What a treat to have a good number of people here to join us for this Shotsuki service for the month of September, and also a special occasion as we have Eddie and Diane here to share some of their own reflections. The Shotsuki service is always very meaningful, and to have our Shotsuki families join us and to come and Oshoko. It's always very touching, and through that, especially as minister, to be able to see, sometimes the other parts of the family are able to come and join in, and so you get to know and see how the family connections go and the history of each of the families and the relationships, the longevity, all the families and what has gone on at the temple. You kind of enter into the temple history, and it's always a special service. So for today's service, a little bit of juggling here because we shifted the camera a bit, and so if you're at home, there's different angles, and when we have someone at the other podium, we can shift the view a little bit so to accommodate both podiums. So we'll test this, and then this is how it will go for some of our special services, and when we have gathas and the organist playing and all of these things, so we will be able to make these adjustments. Okay? So for today's service, we're going to have the reading of the Hyobyakumon that announces the purpose of this gathering, our Shotsuki service. Then this will be followed by the reading of the Shotsuki names. So while the names are read, please come up and offer incense during the names. Following the reading of the names, we'll chant the Sambujo and the Amida Kyo, half the Amida Kyo. And so, Nembutsu and Ekoku will complete the chanting portion of the service, and then after that we'll have opportunity to invite Eddie up here, and following Eddie's sharings, we will have a Dharma message for everyone. Okay, and then thank yous and Oshoko by everyone else to conclude our service. Please join me in Gassho as I read the Hyobyakumon. Today, on this occasion of the Shotsuki service for the month of September, the members of our temple families have reverently come before Amida Buddha in memory of their beloved. With deepest reverence and thankfulness for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida, we reaffirm the three homages. Namo Kie Butsu, Namo Kie Ho, Namo Kie So. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Please repeat the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. These are the Shotsuki names for the month of September. Please come up. Akinaga Osamu, Bruno Alberta, Doi Akitaka, Fukayama Akiko, Hasegawa Akira, Hatakeda Tomo, Hayame Rei, Hori Yoshie, Imazumi Kanae, Imazumi Rose Toshiko, Inoue Chikara, Iwaihara Katsutaro, Kataoka Isao, Kawahara Yukino, Kobu Sensaburo, Komatsu Kameko, Kumamoto Eihachiro, Maruyama Kazuko, Mashimoto Ryuzo, Maeda Kinu, Makrusky Asako, Mikami Naoyamon, Mochizuki Kiyoshi, Moritomo Infant Itsuko, Murakawa Takao, Meyer Richard Rick, Nagai Infant Francis, Nakano Makoto, Nakano Tsuchino, Nakao Toshiko D, Nakao Toyokichi, Nakaso Iku, Nishikawa Kimiyo, Norie Misue, Ogawa Infant Kiyomi, Omi Henry, Sugitani Saburo, Sugiyama Infant Shiro, Tabushi Hinaka, Tamura Rei, Tajima Nobu, Takeda Risaburo, Tateyama Misue, Tsuchiya Marie, Tsurumoto Tori, Tsuyuki Kentaro, Umene Torakichi, Yamada Koichi, Yamamoto Emiko, Yamamoto Motonori, Yamamoto Yujiro, Yamasaki Magoichi, Yamasaki Shina, These are the Shozuki names for the month of September. If there are additions or corrections, please notify the office. Now we have Sutra chanting Sambujo Amida Kyo. Namanda, 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 Namanda. Yo がも日時分在社へ国に十期孤独音両大ビク主1250人区改正大アラカン中小知識長老シャリオマカモケンレマカカショマカカセネンマカクチラリハタジュリアンダダナンダアナンダラゴラトモアダイミンズルアラダカルダイマカコヒナアクラアヌルダヨセト初代レシヨショボサマカサモンジュシリモジアイタボサケンダカダイボサヨショジンボサヨニョゼト初代ボサ牛尺大官イント無料商店大衆区二次文語上論シャリオ重税裁法多十万億万の無世界両万極楽合道部分語阿弥陀権現再説法シャリオイド過去行為極楽語国衆上無宿南十小楽光明極楽シャリオ極楽国土七十何十七十ラモ七十五十改正四法中層医療成功異国明暗極楽シャリオ極楽国土不執法治悪徳水十万高中地帯順に本社富士四辺街道金言ルリハリ五条上老各百位金言ルリハリ社交釈州名の二言直視地中年芸大名社林常識証拠公式要項釈式釈庫略式白庫微妙公決釈理法国ら国土上重尿税空禄将軍武者利用異部国土調査天閣黄金二次昼夜六時二遊曼荼羅敬語国修上上位小丹各位へ国上宗明敬空用他方十万六分即位式次伝統本国門地域協業者理法国ら国土上重尿税空禄将軍物資者理法異国上中重奇妙雑式市長学校空弱法務者理馬領民が無名市長聖書州長長や六時水和下音同音年長高根合力七五大分合唱道分名税東方東 行動修上門税音に外出念仏念法念僧シャリオ尿物意思上実税裁法少々小医者が異部国道三幕宗シャリ法部国道小部三幕道死病家境無実聖書宗教改正阿弥陀仏力量法宣流演芸少佐シャリ法異部国道利福水道小法五十九法ラモ水未妙音陰陽百戦十角同時空差門税本社開示年上念仏年法年相死心シャリオ大部国道上重行税空六将軍Not bad, being out of practice and like that. Sounded pretty good. Okay, so today we have a very special guest to be able to speak to us today. Eddie Matsumoto is here and been going through his own journey to understand and deal with working through having cancer and at the same time being a part of the temple and participating in a lot of our events, the drive-thrus and the Bonodori in particular was touching, not only Eddie, but to have so many of our elders here, and we had special, what did we call them? Floats that they were able to join and participate in the Odori and not just getting pushed around, but actually dancing. And so it was very touching for all of us to have people be able to participate and for the first time in a number of years to have a live Bonodori occasion here at the temple. It was special, and there's some stories in the recent, the current Wheel of Dharma showing pictures from all over BCA, as many of the temples have been able to have something live and in person for their Bonodori this year. So today, in particular, I had spoken to Eddie and asked if he might want to address our Sangha members, and he jumped at the opportunity, and we've tried to find a fitting occasion, and we thought today would be a very good day, the best day. And so it's very nice to have Eddie come up. So why don't you please come up and offer incense and step to the podium, and I'll adjust the cameras to accommodate your message. By the camera?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay.
I think I can stand up for a while. Where should I go?
You can hold on to that.
Sit on.
That's it. Roll. It's on.
Okay. Just grab that podium like it's a crab table. Okay?
First of all, I want to thank everybody for attending
You can take your mask off.
today's service. I came down with a little problem in the last 18 months, and I'm not all the same as I was before, but with the support and the feeling and the love that I got from this temple, it's been 18 months now, and I still feel good. And I really appreciate everybody that comes and shows their appreciation to our temple. I want to thank, I do have time, but I don't have time. I want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart, for my friends that I had and I have for the last 35, 36 years. I also want to thank the church members, especially the church members. If it wasn't for this church member, I couldn't be here. It's been, since I came down with cancer, it's been about 18 months now, August. It's been 18 months that I had this disease. And with the support, the letters, the cards, the phone calls, the love that I got from this church kept me going for 18 months, and I'm still going. And I really thank and appreciate everybody that showed their concern for what I've been going through for the last 18 months. Thank you. I also want to thank my friends. My friends really helped me through for the 18 months as far as cards, phone calls, and coming over to see me and bringing me over something to munch on and something to eat. That, I want to thank everybody for that. Church members, I couldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for you guys, the church members of Alameda Buddhist Temple. Everybody in here starts with Lenny, Doug, Amy, Howard, everybody. Barney, Marilyn, Moss, Ron, Jackie, both Jackies. I know I missed a whole bunch of people, but I want to really thank everybody that I mentioned and the ones I did mention that I forgot from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much for the love and support that I got from you and the church. Also, I want to thank family members. My family members, as far as her sister Janet, her brother Gary, his wife Maggie, my kids Jason and Jennifer, Janet, her sister, and Gary together, her brother. They were lifesavers. They've been helping me day in and day out. Anytime I have to go someplace, I have to go to the doctor's appointment, everything. For the first 9 or 10 months of what I went through, they were there for me as far as support. They followed me, they took me where I had to go, they made doctor's appointments for me, they picked up my medication. They did so much for me. I can't thank them enough. Gary Oda, he's a quiet one, but he's been one of my best friends ever since I met him. We've been like night and day. You know, I had my ways, he had his ways, but we got along, especially when we went to Costco. We had our Costco dog. Gary Oda, you are good. You are a friend of mine. James and Stacy, you are the best. They have helped me everywhere I went as far as vacation-wise, Vegas, Reno, the casinos. They were there whenever I fell, they picked me up. Whenever I needed something, they were there. They're like a brother. Thank you, Steve. You're always there for me, and I'm going to always be there for you. My family members. I want to thank my family members, Jason, my son, Jennifer, Gary, her brother, Janet, her sister, her daughter, Michelle, Gary Takeda, her brother. They've been with me and with us day in and day out. I love them. I wish I could tell them. I tell them that, but I wish I could really show it to them more. Anyway, this is a kind of an appreciation where I want to. I'm not used to this. I'm not used to this. What I really want to say, but I haven't said it yet, is that I want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart for the people that I mentioned. I missed out my son, Jason, my daughter, Jennifer, her sister, Janet, her brother, Gary. I mean, they've been with me ever since I had this problem. I also want to mention James and Stacy again. They've been with me ever since I came down with this, whatever I have. They have helped me. They've been with me ever since I came down with this. I love them so much. They've done so much for me, James and Stacy. Yeah, thank you. To end this story now, I gotta thank my wife, Diane. She's the best. She's followed me everywhere I went. I fall down, she picks me up. When I have to go to the doctor, she takes me to the doctor. She takes me everywhere. She does everything for me. And all my life, I didn't really treat her like I should have. Diane, I love you. I love you, Diane. But I wanted to share this with the people because I don't know how long I'm going to have. Maybe 6 months, maybe 3 months, maybe a year, I don't know. But until then, I'm going to keep fighting. And I want to mention again that all the support and love that I got from the Sangha, from this church, from everybody here, all my friends. Again, I got to mention James and Stacy. You know, they're the best. You know, they might be quiet, but once you get to know them, they are good. Now, I missed a lot of people out here, like Barney and Merlin. You know, you've been with me ever since. You're still with me, and I'm still with you. Lenny and Doug. There's Dorothy Okamoto, that she's not here. Amy, Howard, Eco, Susan. Susan, I've known you so long, Susan. You are great. But out of all the people that I want to thank, my wife Diane, she is the greatest. She's with me 24/7 and everything. Thank you, Diane. I think I got other things to say, but I can't say it now. But again, with this church, with the people that's in here, with Sensei, and I gotta thank Sensei Taniguchi and his wife. They're with me like 2-3 times a week for the last 2-3 months. Thank you, Sensei Taniguchi. Thank you, Shoyo. Howard, you are good. Anyway, I think I'm rounding on.
Yeah, you are.
So anyway, again, thank you so much.
Let me ask you a question or two.
Yeah.
We'll make this an interview in a way. Maybe you can add a little update as well. Your treatments continue? You still go in regularly?
I'm beyond treatment now. I think I'm off chemo and I'm off radiation.
Mm-hmm.
I've been off of that since April. Symptoms hasn't gotten any better, but I don't think it's gotten any worse. As far as what the doctor says, which I don't believe, he gave me until the end of December. But the way I'm feeling now, and the letters and the support that I'm getting from the church, I hate to say this, but you might see me for another couple more years.
How about food? You're able to eat this and that?
Right, the last month or so, my appetite has increased, but I don't eat a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like I have a big bowl of cream of wheat and maybe a toast for breakfast. Then I munch a little bit during lunchtime, and then I kind of munch all the way through until about 7 or 8 o'clock, and then I have a big munchie. So I eat about 4 or 5 times a day, but nothing big. I have small portions, but I eat often, and I like ice cream, and I like those Italian ice, and once in a while, you know, I want a steak. But other than that, you know,
especially these hot days, huh?
all these hot days. Well, see, I'm always thirsty, so I drink a lot of water. Well, I don't drink enough water, but I drink a lot of Gatorade or other things to keep my energy level going. And I don't drink enough water, but I drink a lot of liquid and stuff. But it's been.
Maybe we have a special thank you for Cosmo and the new kitty too, huh?
Well, I'm still thinking Cosmo. Cosmo's been in our life, you know, he's our best dog that we had, and that was our 5th or 6th dog or so. But Cosmo is the best. We got 2 little, well, they're not kittens no more, but we got 2 cats. And I've been thinking about a dog for the last year or so. But as far as animals, since I still love animals. Animals are always going to be a part of me, you know. Just like the church, you know, I might not come to church every Sunday like I want to or I should or I did, but my heart is still there for the church and for the people that belongs to this church, because with the cards and the Koden and the phone calls that I got from everybody, it's so touching. You know, you can't believe it. And I still got the cards up for a year. It's still up there in my mantle and stuff. You know, it's something that I will never forget. And it's, like again, I said, it's so touching. I can't talk to them. But I want to thank everybody again for the support and the love that I got from this temple. This temple is great. Sensei, thank you so much for the time that you let me talk. I appreciate it, Sensei. Thank you so much.
Very good.
And I want to thank also Reverend Taniguchi. You know, he's been with me like a couple times a week as far as phone calls and stuff. I don't know what she's, but this temple is great, Sensei. I hope you keep it up because this is a good feeling. Thank you.
Diane, did you want to add anything or you're okay?
I think you said it all a few times. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Very good.
you tried. Yeah.
Why don't you join the Sangha again? Maybe you want
Yeah.
to Oshoko before you sit down.
Okay.
Okay. Okay then.
Thank you, Sensei. Thank you so much. No, I'm good. No, I'm good.
Very nice to have Eddie come up and share some of his thoughts, and I think it impresses upon us how when making such an effort, it takes such an effort, and so it's not so easy, but we're so happy that he was able to join us today. And thank you to everyone who's watching at home and came out particularly for today to support Eddie and Diane and really have, like Eddie was saying, the sense of Sangha here, the support, and you see it live right now. So this is all very good. So today I have a Dharma message, and it's about GOEN. Okay? Some of you might know about GOEN, and sometimes it's described as fortuitous encounters, okay? Karmic connections that come into play. And we've all experienced this, but sometimes it's very surprising. So I have this story about GOEN, and it has to do with the fire that we had at the Idaho, Oregon Buddhist Temple. This is Charmin's home temple where I served, at the beginning of my career as a minister. and it's been in the Wheel of Dharma. We've talked about it at our board meetings and such. And so they had a fire at their temple on July 8th of this year. And completely separate from that fire, Enmanji had a plan for this Wakabayashi company to visit the temple there to consider some minor repairs that they need done on their Onaijin setting. So this Wakabayashi company from Japan visits different temples and they do repairs and refurbishing of the Onaijin setting. So I think they came here, right, to get ready for the centennial celebrations and things. And so Taniguchi Sensei knows them very well. And so Taniguchi Sensei was going to accompany the two representatives when they went to Enmanji. And this is going to happen next week. So because all this was going on and the plans had been set, but their president, Diane Ono, she said, oh, Sensei doesn't even know about this. So she texted me and called me and said, we have this plan. I just wanted to make sure you know that this Wakabayashi company is coming to Enmanji with Taniguchi Sensei. They're going to meet Daryl Yagi, and this has all been set up, so I wanted you to know about it. So, okay, no problem. Thank you. And so, like I said, they had come and helped with this in a number of temples, and they were coming to the Bay Area, first to stop at Monterey Buddhist Temple, and then to visit with some people, and then to go on to Enmanji. And they only had like 2.5 days in the Bay Area before they went to LA to visit some more temples down there before they had to go back to Japan. So, at Idaho, Oregon, their temple president is named Mike Aseri. Okay? He was the best man at our wedding. And so Mike, he was under the impression that these kind of companies like Wakabayashi were not able to come to the United States because of the pandemic, and so he didn't think these kind of repairs were going on. And so because of that, he just assumed that the fire, downstairs they have a social hall like this, and most of the damage was there, and above the social hall is the hondo, and so there's no fire damage but a lot of smoke damage. Okay, and so he just assumed that the members would just have to do the best as they could to clean up the Onaijin. And I would envision Mike with a bucket and a rag doing all this kind of thing, right? So I had mentioned Wakabayashi has this very tight 2.5 day schedule in the Bay Area. And so I suggested maybe I could bring some pictures from Idaho, Oregon fire and show them to these two when they went to Enmanji. But the fire was in July, right? So why wait till September for them to get this information, right? Can't I just send them some pictures in Japan? Maybe they can even go to Idaho, Oregon. So I'm trying to contact, who do I contact, who do I ask? And hard to find out exactly. So finally I learned that Brian Nagata is arranging for their visit to the Bay Area. In fact, the two are staying at Brian's house. Okay? And so I know Brian, and not only do I know Brian Nagata and Idaho, Oregon President Mike Aseri, they were Boy Scouts at the same time. So in their youth, they went to the World Jamboree in Japan together, along with Ralph Honda from San Diego Temple. So anytime they would see each other, they would recollect that trip that they went on together. And not only they, my father was the Buddhist chaplain on that trip. Okay, so we have these things that are shared experiences in our past. And so they talk about all these things. So these connections are starting to emerge, and they were at first kind of obscure, distant images. And so these possibilities start to come into view, starting to get clear, blurs starting to come into focus. So the plan became that they can go to the Idaho, Oregon temple if they shifted days to visit Enmanji. So instead of Tuesday, they're going to go Monday and go on Tuesday to Idaho, Oregon. So this even affects us. I asked the education committee, can we switch the day of our meeting so I could go and meet them at Enmanji before they go on to Idaho, Oregon the following day. And this all worked out. All these plans kind of worked out. Even still, if they went, they would have to fly from Oakland to Boise. And from Boise, it's another drive, 1 hour drive to the temple. So someone would have to meet them, pick them up, take them to the temple, and maybe they would have just a 2 hour window, get them some lunch, view the damage in the temple, and get back to Boise so they could catch their evening flight back to Oakland. Okay, so tight schedule, but doable. Okay. Then, not only that, the Northwest District Convention is coming up next weekend. And it's also the 75th anniversary of that Idaho, Oregon temple. And they are hosting this Northwest District Convention. And so they had all these plans. Bishop Marvin Harada, that's his home temple. So he's invited as the keynote speaker for the convention. So he's coming back there, right? His parents, he grew up at the Idaho, Oregon temple. So when I was there, he would come to visit his parents. Sometimes he'd come with his wife, sometimes with his children, and it'd be like family reunion time. So instead of a few Haradas, there'd be a whole section of Haradas at the temple on the Sunday service, right? And so I'm accustomed to seeing mom and dad and auntie and uncle there at the services, but now and then Reverend Marvin would be there too. So maybe the day before service, we go to McDonald's and sit down and have coffee, talk about what's going on in BCA, what's happening at Idaho, Oregon, and we'd be able to compare notes and see what's going on. Even when we were IBS students, we were there at the same time. So Reverend Marvin and myself and Carol Himaka, Reverend Carol Himaka, we were the main ones there, and we ran the high school retreats together. So we did a lot of things together. And so Reverend Marvin was going to come. He would be there when this Wakabayashi company representatives were coming. So he said, oh, I could pick them up in Boise. I could take them back to the airport too. So it works out just perfectly so. So on the drive, the 1 hour drive, he would have time to talk to Wakabayashi people, let them know about his connection to that temple, his family connections, what's going on with BCA, and all the more, I think this familiarity would play out and be helpful to that temple, right? And just to grow these connections that that company has with all of BCA. So all of these things kind of came together. So all of this happens next week, in a couple days. So stay tuned for the next exciting episode, okay? But I think this is a perfect example of GOEN, right? Fortuitous encounters, karmic connections, and we come across GOEN now and then, sometimes quite often. We each had this happen in our own lives, and sometimes it seems like even more so in connection to the temple. So we find these different connections, they come into play, or meeting someone, or you meet someone, so, oh, we have a relative that we didn't even know, right? Hiko has some of those stories. I think his cousin that he found, long lost cousin, and things like this, but they just happen to occur. And to me, when we recognize this, our practice as Jodo Shinshin Buddhism is GOEN. Our life is GOEN. To recognize all these connections is to recognize the interconnected reality that we live within. There's a story of Indra's net that I share often, and many of you know, and there's an infinite net stretching out in all directions, and at each knot there's a jewel, precious jewel, at every single knot. And we are these jewels, right? This is myself, and here's Amy, and here's Howard, and here's Hiko, and their family members, and we are each these jewels, and our children or our parents are the jewels next to us, and we reflect the light shining from these other jewels that are all around us and surrounding us. So this is the image of reality that Buddhism shares with us. Okay? And so when these instances of GOEN occur, we are noticing the shining, the reflections from all these other jewels that touch our lives. Okay? And so we live in the midst of all these connections. And when we recognize that, that is what is being called awakening to the embrace of Alameda. Okay? So enlightenment, awakening, is not just some surge of wisdom that hits us in the head. Okay? It's just realization in bits and pieces that all these things are there. They're always there. Sometimes they come into play just perfectly fitting. Sometimes they're always there. Our connections to our friends and relatives, just like Eddie mentioned, they are there. And they come into focus, come to the forefront of our lives, and we recognize this. And so this helps us to see this greater reality, interconnected, interrelated net of wonderful, beautiful jewels of life, connections, conditions surrounding us, sustaining us. Incredible. This is the life of Nembutsu. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda. Okay, thank you for letting me share the story of GOEN, and I think it's all the more fitting to follow Eddie's thoughts and reflections on kind of the GOEN that he encountered through all his friendships, through all our friendships here at the temple. Before we conclude, I would like to thank everyone who's involved. There were many getting the word out that Eddie was going to be here, and others that had helped set up the onaijin, the flowers and the fruits and the offerings that we have here, the video crew that helps us every Sunday to provide the service for the people who are at home. It takes a lot. We saw people shooting each other in the forehead so we get our temperature checked and all these things. People are very conscientious to wear their masks, and all these things are happening. And because of this, we're able to have our service here. So thank you very much. We'll conclude with Nembutsu one more time, and then please come up and offer incense. Okay. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda, Namanda, Namanda. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you.
I brought some grapes to share with people that they can take home. I don't know whatever.
You want to go outside the social wall?
Yeah.
Okay. Leave it to you.
Yeah, thank you for your patience. Please give me harder and harder.
Earlier is better.
You know, this is 49. Thank you. And he can get it right too.
You got a token?
Oh, yeah, he has a clipper card.
Need a pass.
He's got a clipper card.
Oh, you had one made for this? I don't know about that. I didn't find it. I'm just showing you what your options are. Yeah. Okay. Yep. You don't, let me know. Come in.
But it's your awareness and recognize there's nothing. There's all this warning.
Oh, yeah.
Very bad.
Yeah, I saw the description and the same what's happening. You want to take your clamps home?
Yeah, maybe I'll do that. Okay.
That's the wisdom.
Down? All right with you, man. It's not a little elevator, man. It's one of those. This way. This way. Right, I'm right with you.
You know, that's for people that have problems. I don't have
Well, that's why Howard's on there. You got problems.
Man, I'm late. Ready? All right, here we go. All right.
Thank you. Yeah, no, okay. Nice.
some of the things that
Thank you.
they might be facing.
And really, they don't just go to this one. I know. It sounds like it happens. I know. It's okay. That's the only thing that we do.
I've seen it. She has friends in Vail.
And I went by the temple, and it was really upsetting me to learn that it had caught a fire. My friend told me that. And so, who's your friends in Vail? They're yeah. Have they lived there a long time? A really long time, and they're really heavy Catholic. Okay. And they go to the Catholic.
I'm sure we've crossed paths. I had friends that were Catholic and in Vail, and when I was a kid, we would, if I went and stayed at her place, then of course we would go Saturday night and like go Sunday morning.
Oh, yeah.
And you know, so yes, and families go deep and long and big families.
Yeah, it's kind of a neat town though, and I made a couple of windows for a Catholic church in Yessa.
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
With St. Bridget's Church.
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, how funny. Yeah, but it's a big church with St. Bridget's, and I did a couple of memorials